Yo, what's going on, Comfy Gang? It's your boy Company here. Currently it's daytime, and I know this might be confusing to some people because I did technically go on Discord last night, and I did say that I recorded a video, I guess last night, but I'm deciding to reshoot it because it was way too rambly and all over the place and basically incoherent when I watched it back. So, anyways. Enough about that. Thank you for the patience since last video. My cough is like it's like 95 to like maybe 98% gone now. Like I only have like a little bit of of itchiness in the in like my throat. I think I should be able to finally like shoot this video properly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. If you guys already saw the title by now, which you most definitely have, then you probably know that I've gone full LDAR mode. I've gone full comfy max. I've taken the rot pill. I've decided to just take the give up on life pill and the nihilism pill and just go full rot mode, go full degen rot mode. And so this video is essentially going to be talking about that, and basically it's going to be sort of like a life update video. I'm not really going to be talking about any be giving any of my opinions on anything really, but just basically let you guys know what I've been doing these past few months, given that I guess people are probably curious as to what I do whenever I disappear for so long, and and I guess those who haven't been on Discord or didn't talk to me on Discord don't really know. As to why I went, full Eldar mode, it's probably kind of a stupid reason, but basically the story, it's not really a story. It's pretty boring, but it begins like maybe October, sometime early October last year. And, up until that point in time, probably for like the whole year, like since January last year, I've probably said this maybe a few times in my videos, but I guess it would be kind of hard to believe given the lack of evidence, on my part I was playing a lot of guitar. I was maybe playing, like, when I first was getting into it, maybe like 6 to 8 hours a day, and then it slowly tapered off to maybe like 4 to 6 hours, and I guess maybe got slightly more and more like bored of it, and also got harder and harder to actually learn stuff. But I was playing a lot of guitar, and obviously there's no evidence of this because I'm really like quite shit at it, to be honest. I'm pretty ass at it. So I was hoping maybe one day I could play something on the channel when I actually I'm able to like be good and stuff. But anyways, that's besides the point. I was playing a lot of guitar, and I was actually really trying hard, and even though at that point in time I had eventually sort of come to give up on this idea of ascending to rejoin society, or at least I thought I did. Maybe part of me at the back of my mind was thinking like maybe I'll just try learning guitar as a sort of like last Hail Mary attempt at maybe quote unquote just finding a way to eke out an existence somehow without having to resort to your typical wage slave job, because obviously I think it's looking more and more likely that at some point in the next few years I'm probably gonna have to be forced to do that. But I was really trying hard, and I was like practicing pretty consistently, and I was making a lot of progress at first, and I was starting to gain some self-confidence, thinking at the back of my mind like, hey, maybe I was starting to like get all these feelings of hope, like, hey, like maybe this might actually turn into something, like maybe my life will actually work out. Maybe I'm actually some this is probably pretty cringe, but like some secretly talented person who's undiscovered genius and all that sort of like bullshit that, you kind of think when you get a little bit too ahead of yourself. And, I was getting this sort of like false sense of confidence. And, so I kept playing, but then as things started to get harder and harder with the learning, and after doing a lot of research and watching other, people play guitar on YouTube, I came across, I sort of realized that this whole time that I was learning guitar, I was actually pressing the strings wrong. And for those of you who don't know how to play guitar, you're basically supposed to press the strings with the very, very tips of your fingers, which is why cutting your nails on your fretting hand, which is like the left hand that presses the strings, is really important. So you can really hit the you can really press down on the strings with that like really pointy part of your finger. But I was actually using like more of the fleshy part. And as a result of this, it was making my playing really unclean. I was like hitting strings all over the place, and it just was honestly not professional. And it was also affecting my ability to, my finger dexterity and stuff. So this probably doesn't mean a whole lot to anyone listening to this, but basically a TLDR version of that is that it was basically making my playing like pretty shitty and like very amateur. So at this point, like I was like really hyped up. I hyped myself up like wrongly, I guess. So obviously this came as like a huge setback to me, and I tried correcting it, but then another unfortunate discovery that I realized was that if you learn to do something the wrong way, like let's say you learn how to shoot a basketball wrong, or you learn how to draw something with the wrong technique, and then if you do that for a lot, you'll still get better in a sense, but slowly over time that'll eventually hit some sort of like plateau where you basically stop improving, because your like the foundation upon which you're building the skill in the first place is is basically like shit. It's kind of like building a house on like mud basically. So so I tried to undo this and like relearn pressing the strings properly, but it almost felt like I was like relearning the guitar from scratch, as if I had like never learned the guitar in the first place, because like my hands were always like shaking, and every time I tried playing the guitar correctly, it's like my fingers would be all jerky and stuff, and like basically have like a seizure, like not really but kind of. And it was just, at this point in time I was honestly like really, really frustrated, and I started going down I guess a pretty bad like train of thought mentally, because it almost felt like I had like spent all this time playing guitar for pretty much no reason. And like once, it's kind of like this idea of like the higher you lift yourself up, the harder you fall. So it's like at this point I was like already giving myself this sort of like maybe false sense of hope that I could actually like make something of myself playing guitar, which is pretty delusional, now that I think about it, because I'm like fucking 25. But then, at the time, like when you're in the moment, sometimes you don't really catch it, or maybe that's because I'm like I tend to be like delusional. But so because of that, I started thinking of all these thoughts of like fuck this, like why did I even bother trying, and like like what's the point of me trying when all these guitar like virtuosos and people who I consider and most people consider as good guitarists probably started playing when they were like 10 or like 15 or like 18, when they were a lot younger. And I'm like at the tail end of when growth as a human being is supposed to happen, like in my mid 20s basically. Like it only goes downhill from here. So I was like pretty discouraged, and I was like, at that point in time I was like, F it. I started going on this whole like doomer, like nihilism, like train of thought, and I was like, fuck it, like imagine this, like this is like maybe like the hardest I've actually tried at anything, like even way harder than when I was actually doing all this sort of like lifting shit and like gym rat shit, like yeah, like I was basically working like almost like a full-time job playing guitar, only to find out that I was doing it wrong the entire time. So I just went full, yeah, I just, at that point I was like, fuck it, like I don't know what to do. And simultaneously, maybe like earlier that year, I was already looking into getting like a gaming laptop, because I've always been like a console peasant, not implying that I couldn't have asked my parents to get me one at some point, especially when I was like a lot younger and they probably had more hope for me. But it's, I'm not gonna LARP and say that, I don't know, it's like I probably could have gotten it at any point, because like instead of getting the computer like that you see back there, I probably could have gotten like a gaming laptop instead. But the reason I chose that computer was because I probably my whole life I've had sort of this like improver mindset, and this idea that if I had like a gaming computer, then it would just suck my life away. And I had all these sort of like lofty ambitions, back when I was in like maybe early college and like high school, thinking that this is all like pointless, like I'm just gonna improve. And so I mostly just stuck to like consoles and like yeah, and like I guess I would play games on like the computers that I would use for school, but these weren't really like gaming computers, so probably just like League of Legends, maybe easy to run games. And so yeah, at this point in time, because I was so like dejected and like frustrated, I know this sounds really pathetic, but that's just honestly like how I felt at the time. Like I was like, yeah, fuck this, I think I'm just gonna fucking get a gaming laptop. So at this point in time, like the whole of last year, I was slowly saving up money, like from doing like helping my aunt do stuff. I can't really say what exactly, but just think of it as like like mowing the lawn or like trimming hedges for money, I guess, but like a very like small token sum, and it's like pretty infrequent. But I managed to save up maybe 1.5k that whole year, and Canadian. And I think my goal at the time was to like save up all the money just through that, without cutting into like whatever money I had in the bank, like my quote unquote life savings. But at the time I was just so frustrated, and I just I wanted some way to cope. So I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna spend my life savings. So I just basically spent the 1.5k that I'd saved up, and probably maybe another 1.3k out of my life savings, which is probably around like 5k total. And I just I just scoured the web until I could find a pretty, I guess, a gaming laptop that I thought would maybe last me for like the next like 5 or 6 years, even though now I realize that well, I guess the one that I got should last me that long, because I think the highest settings shit is like doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, I just decided to get this yeah, I got this I got one of those like mid upper range gaming laptops, which is like equivalent to like a mid-range desktop, and from this generation, I mean. And yeah, I decided to just like full on splurge on that. And at this time I was pretty ecstatic, because having been playing console games my whole life, or like League of Legends on like a non-gaming PC, like I was really excited to finally be able to just play games on like the highest or no, like the maybe second to highest settings, without having to worry about, like stuttering and like, random like crashing and stuff. And honestly, that's exactly what happened. I was really, really, really like happy at first when I got it, and you know, it almost felt like the same rush that I got when I rediscovered anime for the first time in a long time last year. And the first thing I did was redeem like the 1 month free trial of Xbox Game Pass, and I think I downloaded like Doom Eternal as my as the first game that I got, and I was just fucking like blown away. And just like I didn't realize like I don't know, like maybe I was just like going full consumer mode, and like just blown away by like the FPS, like playing over like 60 FPS for the first time. Like I never really even like knew about or paid attention to things like FPS, to be honest. I thought like every game ran at like 60 or 30 FPS. So then, I had that with like the higher settings, and like on the smaller laptop screen, it just like, yeah, I basically just got hooked on gaming. So I think I beat Doom Eternal in like 3 days, playing like 8 hours a day. And, for the next like maybe like 3 months up until this point, I was basically gaming nonstop for like 6 to 8 hours a day instead of playing guitar. I was gaming nonstop for like 6 to 8 hours a day, and just jumping from like game to game. Every time I would beat a game, I would immediately play a new game like the next day. And I was like deliberately trying to play games of different genres, of different lengths, of different art styles, because the goal was essentially to keep the cope going as long as possible, like to prevent my brain from essentially adapting and getting bored of the games. So I was basically playing like nonstop for it's like 3 months. And when I wasn't gaming, I was either like watching YouTube, like mostly like VTuber clips, fucking VTuber clips, and or obviously this sort of like cut into my anime watching. So I was watching less anime, but I was still watching some anime. So like my entire life consisted of gaming, YouTube clips or streams, and fucking YouTube. So I mean, no, fucking anime. So it was I think that is a pretty typical LDAR regimen, I guess, for a lot of people. I don't know, some people like movies, but I'm really more into like the anime and stuff like that, and the games. So yeah, games and anime I think is pretty typical. So yeah, I was just doing that for a long time, and as a result of the LDAR lifestyle, a lot of, I mean, I guess you can't necessarily say that progress wasn't made, but it as just arguably progress that was like antithetical to what society expects of you in some sense, and also is antithetical or opposite of what is actually maybe good for you as a human being. So I'm basically like completely 100% out of shape now. I pretty much lost all of my quote unquote muscle mass, and that's also partly due to the stomach issues that I mentioned previously. But yeah, that combined with like the gaming, I'm completely out of shape. I have very typical skinny fat physique now. My social skills are pretty much done. I can't imagine myself having verbal dialogue with most people other than my parents. It's pretty hard. I probably doesn't seem like this based on this video, but it's a lot easier to talk into a camera, probably easier than a lot of people realize. Well, maybe for someone like me, but what else? Yeah, it's just like getting more and more aches and pains in my body, a lot of my muscles and like my joints and stuff. It just feels really tight, And I'm thinking that maybe that's what's contributing to like the stomach issues, is just like how tensed up my stomach is from always slouching over. um, you know um, I've been on several 3 week to 1 month no fap streaks, but it's honestly, it's not even because I'm like trying to do no fap. It's because my my libido, libido is basically it's basically shot at this point, like non-existent. Like I'm literally like a fucking plant. Like if you watch those hikikomori or like Japanese documentaries on YouTube, about the quote unquote herbivore men. Like I don't know if I'm classified as one technically, but I definitely feel like one. Like I feel like a fucking plant at this point. Like I just like I have no I'm at this point in time, like I have no, like I don't know, like my body's all fucked up. Like I'm pretty sure like um living this way for so long is probably not good. Like that feeling of that rot when you sit in a chair for so long that you start to like, almost feels like this like really weird like brain fog from like sitting in a chair all day and being like slouched over staring at a screen. It's like your brain is foggy and you can kind of feel almost like tingling like feelings like shooting up your back from your spine, and it's kind of like this weird like uncomfortable like buzzing feeling. Like it's like that's almost what I feel a lot of the time, and especially that's what I've been feeling a lot during this sort of like period in my life. And yeah, so ever since I'm pretty sure, yeah, like I tried playing guitar maybe like 2 days ago for the first time in a long time, and my fingers are like fucking like all fucked up now. Like I can't even do like it's like that's really stupid of me to stop playing, because now like it's like even worse off than I was like before, when I realized that I had my technique was all messed up. And I yeah I don't know how I feel, honestly. Like I think the one saving grace was supposed to be that if I was to do this LDAR lifestyle, that I would be able to cope for the next like the next several years. And maybe every so often, maybe hypothetically work a part-time job just so I could like save up enough money to get maybe another gaming PC when this one finally becomes like out of date, or just like straight up like breaks because like hardware longevity and stuff. But to be honest, like I'm not saying that I don't enjoy games at this moment still, or anime, but ever since I stopped pretty much doing all this other stuff and just went straight Eldar mode, I can't shake this feeling that somehow like I have this sense of like deja vu every time like I play a new game or watch a new anime. And it's like it almost feels like I'm in a weird way, like everything is starting to feel exactly the same, and it feels like I'm doing or witnessing or consuming the exact same thing over and over again. I'm inputting the exact same actions every time I play a video game, and I still enjoy it, but I'm starting to get this weird nagging feeling that maybe in like a few months from now, it's almost gonna reach this point where I don't enjoy doing these things anymore. And yeah, which is kind of worries me, because first of all, it's just like the obscene amount of money that I spent on this essentially what is supposed to be like a Coke machine that was supposed to like last me for like the next 5 years. I thought that this was going to be something that would be able to carry me over for at least maybe a decade even. And here I am already starting to feel a bit like burnt out and bored. Like a lot of times, like very quickly, it feels like I'm getting more and more bored of games when I play them, and I'm starting to, in a sense, maybe I'm starting to see where a lot of needs are coming from when they say that they don't enjoy anything anymore, or like everything seems boring or repetitive or rehashed because um I yeah, that's honestly like I don't feel that completely yet, but I'm starting to get like that, yeah, worrying sense of that happening. And the second reason this worries me is because like what happens when all the copes run out? Because for a long time, improving was my cope, and then now that I got rid of that, as far as like consumerism copes go, I feel like I've tried everything as far as that goes. So there was YouTube, which I've been watching since I was a teenager. So I like YouTube, but if I watch it for too long, I get bored of it very quickly. But it almost seems like I'm just endlessly scrolling, looking for new videos to watch, even though I'm like barely interested in them. But I'm just looking for, I don't know, I don't even know why, like just like the most like random shit. I can't watch like, I don't find most channels that I watch like bearable to watch anymore. Like especially like a lot of like the more like typical stuff that people watch like on like the YouTube recommendation shit. Like it's just I can't watch most of that. There's movies, TV, which I really don't find interesting anymore, just because I feel like that's really all just created for the sake of like worshiping like just facially attractive actors and actresses, and it just seems like a massive like lookism cult basically. And also to just like it's like Hollywood like circle jerk shit. Like I find it hard to watch movies, especially like the more recent stuff even, but even like older stuff. There's like there's anime, which I still enjoy to an extent, but I'm starting to become feels like almost like pickier and pickier, and it feels like some of the stuff that I would have watched before, like the what's it called, quintessential quintuplets, like shitty harem anime. Like I tried like watching a few episodes and I didn't nearly find it as enjoyable as I did before. So it seems I'm becoming more and more like picky with that kind of stuff. And video games I still enjoy to an extent, but I feel myself getting burnt out more and more. And maybe this is just like a phase I'm going through. Like maybe I'm just like depressed at the moment or something, even though I don't really feel depressed. But I don't know. But yeah, it's like, so what do I do after all that? Like, what do I do after all that stuff ends? Like, it's something that I've been wrestling with, and it's something that I might have to, be thinking about for like in the near future, because it feels like the copes are running out, and at the same time it feels like it's too late for me to learn anything useful. I don't really know like what I can learn. I think that's one of the huge contributing factors as to why I'm LDARs, because sometimes it just feels like there's no hope for me to work anything other than like a wage slave job, because I'm 25 at the moment. Some people have suggested coding. Maybe I'll try learning coding as another Hail Mary attempt. Well, actually, I probably won't, to be honest. Like, never mind. Like, because I'll probably say that and then not do it. So just ignore that. But like, think about like that, for example, like what is it about coding that necessarily makes it easier to learn than guitar, even if it's like a more valuable skill, which is debatable in a sense. But like what is it about coding that makes it easier to learn than like learning an instrument or learning a sport at like a high level? If like I tried looking up like basic HTML, and then you fucking inspect the HTML inside any like fucking like simple web page, and it's like literally like seems like that's something I would have to like learn since I was like a fucking teenager. So I don't yeah I don't know, I don't really know at this point. So but yeah, that's pretty much where I am at the moment. Video is approaching 30 minutes, so I'm probably gonna end it here. Hopefully you guys found this entertaining. I'll probably try and start to talk about more NEET topics in my next video. Maybe talk about my experience with therapy or something in my next video. I'm thinking that might be my next video topic. But if you're watching this, I think kind of spoils that, but I'm sure there's something I could probably talk about there. Anyways, probably gonna end the video now. So this is Company signing out. Hopefully you guys found this somewhat enjoyable, and peace.